Okay, we are back. Done my shopping. Failed miserably to buy what I wanted. Would have been nice actually if I could find a new mechanical keyboard, which is what I've been after. I also finally realised what the crackling was on the stream. Whenever I adjust the headset that I'm wearing, excuse me, it makes a noise that I can't hear because I've got the kind of cans over my ears and they've got noise dampening on, so I don't hear it. But obviously the Yeti, because it's a good microphone, it picks it all up. So yeah, it also apparently picks up the creaking of my chair. So anyway, we are carrying on with our playthrough of the Heavensward story quests. We're up to level 54 currently, and we are working towards gaining access to the Airy, which is the level 55 story dungeon. We've just come back to Ishgard. And the idea is that we'll have to go and find Sid, because Sid will enable us to fly up to the area, and therefore we'll be able to actually go and take the fight to Nidhogg. So, Alphino says, when last you saw Master Garland, he was advising the Ishgardians on their ailing airship, correct? In that case, he might still be at oh God, I've done it again. Camp Cloudtop. Failing that, we could try the airship landing, or perhaps even the Skystone manufactory. But let us not waste time searching aimlessly. Someone in the city is sure to know where to find him. The question is, who? Sir Emmerich would seem the obvious choice, but there's no guaranteeing he'll be able to grant us an audience at short notice. Ah! I have it. Count Edmund's youngest son prides himself on knowing all of the Holy See's juiciest rumours. Let us return to the manor and see if Lord Amanolin is about. Oh, welcome, Mr. Thornley. I don't like that. I don't like that welcome. It's like, I know why it's there. It's because that's where we get our word welcome from. You have come, and you appear. We are well glad. We are happy to see you. So you are welcome. But it's weird. Shall I show you inside the manor? Yes. I'm using the controller to do a little bit of movement here, just to cut down some of the clicky clacky of the keys. Obviously, I'll switch over during combat because I can't use the keyboard. Sorry, I can't use the controller for combat. My muscle memory is too tied up with the mouse. Oh, the hero returns. How goes the fight, old girl? Well, I trust. In search of a Sid Garland, you say? Then say no more. The taverns are full of talk, and the name of Sid's silver-haired genius has cropped up more often than not, more often than most. I hear he's been tasked with getting that monstrous airship the Holy See commissioned to actually fly. Just seen the project has been plagued with mishaps from the first. In any case, Garland Ironworks employees are known to frequent the airship landing, and I'll wager their master does too. The airship landing? Yes, I thought as much. Come, Demajen, we must find Sid and trouble him for his expert opinion. Thanks, Amanolin. Nice of Alphino to actually thank him. The airship landing is... Ooh. Yeah. The airship landing is over here. I do like how this this generally controls on the controller. It does feel very, very smooth indeed. Ah, here he is. Sid, Biggs and Wedge. Hi. Demajen, Alphino, how fare you both? Not terribly well, judging by your faces. Greetings, Master Garland. I'm sure it will come as little surprise when I tell you we have need of a favour. Another wind barrier? And you say it was conjured by Nidhogg? The Enterprise could certainly take you where you need to go, but she would not fare well against dragons. She's agile for a ship her size, but not that agile. The Dravanians would fly rings around her. And if they took it into their heads to incinerate the rigging, there'd be precious little we could do to avoid them. But there must be something we can do, some manner of weapon we could employ. Estinian stands vigil at the edge of the churning mists, but we do not know how much longer. All right, I didn't say it was impossible. I said it was impossible for the Enterprise. We need a smaller boat. Biggs, Wedge, it's time we gave that new toy of yours a proper field test. Woohoo! It's probably best if I let the lads show you. Come on, the manufactory's not far. All the nodding. Ooh. Let's go to our manufactory. Yeah, it is up there. Right, we've seen the new toy that Sid is referring to on a few people during the course of this playthrough. Oops. Keep forgetting I'm right clicking for this text as well. Our new toy's inside anyway, he said. That's as much as I saw before I missed it.
Feast your eyes upon our latest and greatest feat of engineering. We call it a mana cutter.
Bum, 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 bum.
After you put down Gaius, Wedge and me struck out on our own for a bit and started work on the successor to the tiny Bronco.
To the tiny Bronco. Biggs' voice. Love it.
Impressive little thing, isn't she? My talent for ship design has plainly rubbed off on them. They've adapted the principles of corrupted crystal technology and constructed a mechanism which converts ether from its surroundings into elemental wind. Said wind is then harnessed by the specially engineered sails, providing the craft with propulsion and lift. All in all, a most elegant solution.
Indeed.
I'm actually a little upset that I didn't think of it myself.
The design does, however, come with one small flaw.
The energy conversion ratio's bloody awful. To generate enough power to get you off the ground, you need to be in an area awash with predominantly wind-aspected ether.
In other words, there are a few places you can fly, lots of places you can't.
Sorry about that. A few places you can fly, and a lot of places you can't.
The new Ishgardian airship hasn't left the boys much time for tinkering, meaning it may be a while before this particular project takes off. If you'll forgive the pun.
Aha! You are hilarious, Sid. Satoru. I like the fact that they got her to voice that.
Tataru, what's happened?
I've been looking all over for you. There's been word from Aldar. It's about Her Grace the Sultana.
Oh.
It seems you're required elsewhere. Leave the Mana Cutter with us. We'll see that she's airworthy and suitably equipped to slice through those winds. You, meanwhile, should concentrate on providing Raoban and the Sultana whatever help they need.
I don't know whether it's by design, but a few of these voices, especially when there's no music in the background, they do sound a bit echoey. And I wonder if that's by choice, because obviously we're in a big empty hangar. General Valbar says they may have uncovered the Sultana's whereabouts. And he wants you, by which I mean both of you, to go to the Waking Sands right away and help with the investigation. Come, Demajen. Pressing their wishguard's plight might be, our presence here will not serve to hasten the Mana Cutter's completion. Let us return to the troubled lands of Thanalan and lend what aid we may. Tataru, our friends of the congregation, send a message to Estinian. I was going to say, what about Estinian? Tell him we've identified a solution to our problem, but that it may take some time to prepare. As you wish, Master Athena. The Waking Sands, Warrior of Light. Just past time Uldar was delivered from this darkness. Alright, so... Waking Sands... That's nice, wasn't it? Bum, 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 bum. Okay, that puts you into first person. Okay, and that switches your stats. Apparently, you can tell I haven't done much in the way of controller usage. Don't even know what the buttons do. I'm assuming you can change those. I see a lot of streamers play FF14 with the gamepad. I suppose considering the noise my keyboard makes, I can see why they do it, but that being said, I do have a JMX blue keyboard, so that's hardly surprising. They are somewhat known for their clicky keys. Have I gone inside when I didn't need to? Oh. That's fine. Papashan, Pipping. Gang's all here.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for Sean Beaning.
No thanks are necessary, General. I trust your recuperation continues apace.
I cannot complain. Thanks to Higirian administrations, I've regained much of the strength I lost during my imprisonment.
Good.
I gather you have made progress in the search for Her Grace.
Aye, some good fortune at last. A few days past, Dulala informed us that a sizable shipment of alchemical supplies had been delivered to the palace.
Random close-up.
With Papa Shan's assistance, I set out to ascertain the source and nature of the shipment. My inquiries led me to Frondale's frontistery. There, I learned that an order had been placed for a curious substance designed to sustain patients trapped in death-like slumber. An invention of the former head alchemist, apparently.
A death-like slumber? This cannot be a coincidence.
You think?
It lends some weight to Dulala's claims, aye. Her Grace is likely somewhere within the palace, abed but alive.
For now, at least. How long will that last, though?
Before making any attempt to extricate the Sultana, however, it seemed prudent to learn what manner of substance was used to induce her torpor. To that end, I made inquiries as to the whereabouts of the one most like to have administered it. The lady-in-waiting, Meriel.
Ah, so we've actually found out her name now.
We sent for you as soon as we learned of her location. All that remains is to apprehend the woman.
We shall find our cat's paw in the Silver Bazaar.
Ah,
But we must tread carefully. The market is not the bustling place it once was, and someone is sure to mark our coming. Should they inform the monetarists, we'll have a fight on our hands.
Not a bustling place is a bit of an understatement. We've actually been to the Silver Bazaar, I believe, and it's got about 6 people in it.
We must be prepared for the worst, and being short an arm, I thought it wise to take another in its stead. What say you, Warrior of Light? Will you lend me yours?
That texture work there. You'd think that they could upgrade that just a little bit. Of course, Rabar, we will help.
Then I pity the bastard that stands in our way. Come, my friends, for Nanamo and for Uldar!
Pippin's got such lovely hair. Oof. Purposeful turning. Okie dokie then. Oh, we've got to talk to people first. Yugiri. Our target is Meriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting, a woman of Midlander heritage. I'm told the two of you have met. Our sources indicate that she left the palace shortly after the incident and quietly rejoined the dwindling population of the Silver Bazaar. I suggest we begin by questioning the market's residents and confirm that Meriel is still in hiding there. A fine plan. Right, how is there a quick and easy way to... Not super duper quick to do that with a controller. Well, there probably is another way of doing it. But it is an interesting experiment. Is there a way that I can bind... keyboard. Gamepad. To see if there's a that's a shame. I was hoping that we could assign that to the gamepad. Ooh. Right, see if I change macro. I can stay over there. Mount. How do we summon mounts? Hold on. Do. Summon mounts macro FF14. Apparently, it's that. So in theory, that doesn't work. Let's have that. Haha! There we go, that's handy. Of course, not actually going the right way, but you know. Learning something new every day. This is what we like. Cold winds. Wait. Okay, so here is the Silver Bazaar. Go and talk to some people. Do Do I know of any returning residents? Gods, don't tell me they're starting to come back. My masters won't be pleased to hear with this. What brings you to our lonely little hamlet? I believe the arrival of your entourage just about doubled our population. Looking for Muriel, you say? If you're hoping to lure her back to Uldar, you may as well give up now. The girl's done with city life. Daniel. Muriel? Oh, she's here. Left the city for good, she says. Barely leaves her house, though. Huh? It's the one closest to the market entrance. Wonder if they've got different dialogue depending on which order you talk to them in. The one closest to the entrance, do they say? Yep, we over you. Yes, it is. Hello. Lurking. That is not stealthy.
You are Muriel, the Sultana's former lady-in-waiting?
Uh-oh.
I know no one of that name. Pray excuse me.
Ha! Uh-oh. Hi.
General Alden.
Is pissed.
We will have the truth from you, girl.
Hello.
Mayhap it would be better coming from me.
God.
Lonorito, you'd best talk fast.
As you know, Teleji Adeleji's Cartano reclamation bill was no more than a facade. A means to get his grubby little hands on that Allagan monstrosity Omega.
That is very true. That was his point. And he would have succeeded as well if it weren't for the fact that Roban sliced him in two.
When he learned of Nanamo's intention to abdicate, however, he was forced to amend his plans. Suddenly, assassination seemed the most promising way to further his ambitions. I am told Teleji had discovered a maid in whose veins ran the blood of House Thorn. A new, more pliable puppet to sit the throne. 'Twould have caused an uproar, of course, but few could have contested her claim.
Yeah, so she would have had some claim to the throne with Nanamo dead. Because House Thorn does have a claim to the throne, but as far as people are concerned, it's only a very minor one in comparison to what the Ulnamo, or whatever the actual house name is.
'Twas plain that Teleji's wild machinations had outgrown our ability to control them. So I decided to usurp his scheme and left the fool to seal his own demise.
Yeah, in other words, you made sure that we killed him.
And what of Nanamo?
Oh, I have no desire to harm Her Grace. 'Twould profit me little to destabilize our government. Thus did I employ young Mariel here to administer a potent sleeping potion in place of a poison. You should know, General, that your dear friend Ilberd was fully aware of my plan.
Oh. Now that I'd forgotten.
I had him lie about the assassination as a means to prime your rage against Demajen. We weren't entirely sure how you would react, but things went rather better than expected.
Apart from getting my arm cut off. Well, my barn getting his arm
You
cut off.
conniving little worm! You had your claws in the Crystal Braves before their first recruit had sworn to serve!
Yes, yes he did.
But of course, when a new game begins, 'tis only prudent to have a piece on the board. Ilberd was mine. Truth be told, a significant proportion of the Braves' initial endowment was also mine. With such large sums moving about, 'twas a rather trifling matter to disguise my own contribution. Ah, Ilberd. I secured his services with a promise to support his cause once my authority had been solidified. I swear, the man thinks of naught but prizing Alamigo from the grasp of the Empire.
Yes, and it's going to get him into considerably more trouble than this towards the end of the expansion.
Unlike you, General, the poor fellow seems quite unable to forsake the land of his forefathers. Mayhap that's why he called you a traitor to your people and a disgrace to your homeland, amongst other things. What was it he always compared you to? Oh, yes, an overgrown lapdog begging for scraps at the Sultana's table. Oh, how we laughed.
Yeah, Lolorito's probably not really helping his case here.
Alas, Ilberd's entertaining little outbursts eventually gave way to wearisome tirades, and the zealous brute became rather unruly. I had no wish to see you executed, you understand, but he would not take no for an answer. Rest assured, his employment with me has long since ended.
Oh good, that makes it all right then.
Which brings us neatly to the present. What say you, General? Both you and the Sultana are alive. We have one corpse and one fugitive, and preparations have been made to restore your good name. Shall we cry quits and start again with a blank ledger?
The hells we will! Do you honestly expect me to forgive and forget? After all you've done? You're guilty of high treason!
Stay your blade, Master Alden. You yourself are not innocent. Or have you forgotten your own crime in executing Teleji Adeleji without trial? Though you acted out of loyalty to the Sultana, such deeds are in violation of both the word and spirit of the law. If you would, Lord Lolorito?
A pot for me?
This potion will wake the Sultana from her slumber. Consider it a gesture of conciliation. You will find Her Grace resting comfortably within her private chambers. Should you doubt my word, I shall willingly accompany you to the palace as your hostage.
Ooh, they actually put a custom animation in for that. You don't see things being handed over in this game properly very often.
I like not your motives, Lolorito. But you saved the Sultana's life, and for that, You have my gratitude.
Rauban Aldin, you are hereby reinstated as General of the Immortal Flames. The citizens of Uldar shall once more be united under Nanamo Ulnamo, and together we shall usher in a new age of prosperity.
Unfortunately, it's still going to have all the same issues that Nanamo wanted to abdicate for in the first place. Slow walking. I do not understand why characters in this game walk so slowly. We don't walk this slowly. Or maybe it's just because I walk quite quickly in real life. And I therefore get confused. By the 12, I feared Lord Lodovita's arrival would herald another bloodbath. Little did I suspect that he, of all people, would gift us the means to rouse the Sultana. Shall we also make for our way to Uldar? I should imagine Bartholomew's been instructed to admit us. Yes, isn't he always? Is there... Oh dear, excuse me. Right, promenade. I was going to say, why can't we do that? Because we're not on Paladin. Do. Bum, 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 bum. Flame General Raban mentioned you might be coming. Please, this way if you will. Of course he did. No. She's alive. And she has cutesy things on her bed. Oh. Surely she'd be really dehydrated.
I was having the longest dream.
"'Tis time to wake up, Your Grace. Another day begins in Thanalan, and the sun blazes bright upon the sands."
Yay!
Her Grace is awoken. The palace physician assures me she's none the worse for her slumber. I believe Her Grace will soon resume her plans to place the government of Uldar into the hands of its citizens. Whatever path she chooses to take, I shall walk it with her. And we shall tread slowly, lest the nation be unsettled in our wake.
Her Grace's compassion is a shining beacon to us all. But what our city truly thrives upon is competition. 'Tis in the struggle against our rivals that opportunities are seized and fortunes made. And with the Empire on the offensive once more, now would hardly seem the time to turn our system of government upon its head.
I really wish I could roll my R's like Lalurito does.
Are you privy to new intelligence, my lord?
Maybe.
I would hardly call it new. Remind me, what was the name of that enormous Imperial warship which met its end in Mordona? Oh, wait, I have it. The Agrius. Yes, well, 'twould appear that the Garleans have been hard at work on another such vessel.
Oh dear.
How close are they to completing this ship? Is it operational?
Its maiden flight was a success, I hear. I should imagine Emperor Varys is eager to see how it performs in battle. My lords and ladies, I move that it is time to repair the damage caused by Teleji Adeleji and prepare our great nation to repel the Empire once more.
Doesn't give a whole lot of choice in that, does he?
"'Tis well that the Sultana has awoken. The Syndicate yet needs to put its house in order, but 'twould seem the worst of the confusion has passed. Uldar has taken control of its future, and I must do the same."
We've been telling you that for a while, haven't we? Haven't we, though?
I have decided to disband the Crystal Braves.
I thought they'd already been disbanded. They're certainly not operational anymore.
Among the recruits, there were those who supported our Order's goals and convictions with all sincerity. 'Tis my hope that these loyal men and women will choose to remain our allies in the battles to come. As for those who sided with the traitor, Ilberd, they shall be hunted down and held to account for their crimes. It is my earnest hope that they will surrender themselves peaceably when the time comes, though I think it unlikely.
Yeah, the two major ones are Yuhasi, who was bad news from the start because he was always thinking about money, 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 money. Every piece of dialogue I think that he had was about coin. I'm still a little bit gutted about Laurentius, the guy that we met in the 20s at the South Shroud that we that we stopped with his Imperial allies, because he did get out of prison and then said that he wanted to reform, and clearly that didn't happen.
Ah, my all-conquering Crystal Braves. The model army meant to pave the way for a single unified Grand Company of Eorzea. That so high an ideal should be brought so low. I need not tell you how deeply the betrayal stung me. Yet I see now that it was mine own naivety and pride which allowed the Braves to fall prey to corruption.
Afraid so.
As ever, it is to your own shining example that I turn for inspiration. Like you, I mean to stand firm in the face of hardship and give mine all for the cause. Let us resume the search for our missing comrades, that we might come together to shine the light of dawn across the realm once more. The role of Crystal Brave Commander suited me ill, and I shall play it no longer. Henceforth, I shall be no more or less than Alphino, proud member of the Scions.
Yeah, it's true. He really wasn't very good at it. I blush to speak thus of my inner turmoil, but the fact remains there is no woman alive in whom I would rather confide. Were it not for your shining example, I might never have emerged from beneath the pall of my despair. Well, shucks. Still on level 54 quests. Still no word from Master Garland. I hope this mana cutter of theirs is nearing completion. Oh, hey, Yugiri. There's fireworks in the background. Yeah. I am assured that Her Grace will make a full recovery. Aye, and Uldar too shall flourish once more. General Raban and his colleagues have matters well in hand, I believe. Lady Yugiri, a question, if I may. I believe your people have been keeping a close watch on the Crystal Braves. Might you know how things stand at the Rising Stones? That's the one in Mordona, in case you were confused, which I often am. Ah, yes, of course. You will be pleased to know that the 3rd Unit Braves abandoned Revenant's Toll when they learned of Captain Ilberd's defeat. The only blue uniforms to be seen there now are those worn by soldiers loyal to you, Master Alphino. To me? I see. I am grateful to hear that at least some of our members were true to their oaths. Before we return to Ishgard, I must go to the Rising Stones and thank these stalwarts for their service. It shall be my final act as Crystal Brave Commander. Will you join me, Demajen? You were there at the company's inception. It's only fitting that you will be present at its end. And I would appreciate the support. I spoke at a reasonable amount of length during the 2.3 and 2.4 quest lines about how Alphino's arrogance and his pride would lead to some character development and comeuppance. And that has finally come to pass. Okay, so Ah, so we've got Real and some other peoples. Is that Lavian? Alian, that's the one. Commander, you're alive. Ah, and Demajen too. And he'd scraped through. I don't remember the others. My splendid Crystal Braves, I have wronged you, all of you. My promises of glory and salvation have brought you nothing but blood and betrayal. Bah! And out hear us complaining. It was a sight messier than expected but we were still fighting for the freedom of all, just like we swore. Ain't that right, mates? Aye! That is one of the few outfits that female Ellison actually look attractive in. Not entirely sure what's going on with the face, though. It's a pity that there aren't more character creation options. You humble me. I'm truly blessed to have such steadfast comrades. It is with the most profound regret, then, that I must... That's enough of that, Commander. We know what you've a mind to say, and we ain't having none of it. We've talked to Oversea, and we all agreed. You can take our uniforms and strip us of our ranks, but we won't be no less of a company. But the Crystal Braves... The Crystal Braves may be finished, but the ideals upon which the company was founded live on. They bind us to each other, and to you. Commander, Alfino. Our minds are made up, so you may as well get used to it. Let us help the Scions. Let us help you find Minfilia and the others. You get told. My friends, after all this happened, I don't know what to say. He is, he's come a long way. I'm still not a huge fan of Alfino, but this does certainly go a long way to, oh, it was Dwari. And Egmus. Yeah, so the Rising Stones is going to be back in order at some point. Just not yet. Pray, excuse me, I thought my tears spent. My grandfather used to say that one could measure a man by the constancy of his comrades. Mayhap I am the exception which proves the rule. Nay, do not protest. I know that I am not worthy of their loyalty. But as Thalic is my witness, I shall do everything in my power to earn it. Ah, right, we're on to the level 55 quests. I must speak of future plans with the remaining Braves. Any information we cover on the missing signs will need to be shared with our allies across the realm, specifically Urianger in the Waking Sands and Tataru in Ishgard. While we are organising our various channels of communication, I'd ask that you call upon Master Garland at the manufactory. I'll join you in Ishgard as soon as I am able. Where we go? Demajen! How in the seven hells do you do it? I was just about to send for you. We have but this moment completed the Mana Cutter's first successful test flight. A few minor adjustments and she'll be ready to go. While we see to the finishing touches, you might want to pay a visit to Forton Manor. A dragoon by the name of Estinian was looking for you. Ooh. Why is Estinian here? He was supposed to be in the Churning Mist. Mind you, we may have been away a while. Thanks to, quote-unquote, dramatic time. Where's my Twitch chat gone? Oops. That might have been a bit loud. I think I must have accidentally closed it down. Oh, I've got too many windows open. There we go. I am so out of tune today. Kind of a pity you can't shrink voice meter banana. No, can't shrink Twitch either. That'll do. Alright. Well, we've had that conversation before. I'm not going over the welcome thing again. Estinian, why are you here? You have fulfilled your obligations to the Uldans then. Mistress Tataro has been keeping me apprised of the situation. Once I learned that these mana cutters at Master Garland's were nearing completion, I saw no reason to tarry in the mists. For the present, Nidhogg seems content to remain in the area, plotting his revenge. Might not this be an apt moment to unfold our plans to Sir Emmerich? I think we have kept him in the dark long enough. Guess so. Dum 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 dum. That one. Sir Emmerich has been eager to speak with you. Uh-oh, what have we done? Hi.
All stands ready, Lord Commander.
Ah, the moment has come then.
Oh, hi, Alphina.
Pray excuse my lateness. I paid a brief visit to the workshop to inquire about the mana cutters. The engineers assure me that they're ready.
The area is now but a short flight away. Yet what a long and winding path we took to reach this point.
A worthwhile path, Estinian.
Were it not for Master Alphino's proposal, we never would have attempted to parley with the dragons.
Parley?
Though our negotiations yielded little, our expedition with Lady Isar taught us much.
You took an unimaginable risk. I could scarce believe the tale Estinian told.
That's what history does for you, though.
'Tis true that many of our countrymen would sooner die than join hands with the heretic's mistress. But 'twas through that most unlikely of alliances that we came to speak with Hraesvelgr.
A conversation that went rather poorly, as I recall.
Yeah, you could say that.
In this instance, the journey was more important than the destination. Had we not slain Nidhogg's consort, Tiamat, and put the Great Worm on his guard, the Dravanians would have arrived at Ishgard's walls long ago.
Yeah, so heading up Som Al was actually worth it, plus I enjoyed it as a dungeon.
Aye, that they would. Full grateful am I for every hour of respite your actions have afforded us. Thanks to you, our defenses are much improved. 'Tis but a pity they won't be enough.
Thus you believe an assault upon the area represents the city's best chance of survival. Is that not so, Estinian?
Yarp.
I am under no illusions. Nidhogg's might is legendary. But with his eye in my possession, I can stifle his strength at the source. Victory will be hard won, even so. And I shall be glad indeed to have the Warrior of Light at my side.
Nod.
You shall have my blade as well. There are more of these mana cutters to be had, yes?
Lord Commander, no!
How can I, a proud knight of Ishgard, stand by and do naught while an outsider risks life and limb for our homeland? I swore an oath to protect this city.
Pray leave the slaying of dragons to dragoons, Sir Knight. Your duty to command the city's defense is no less vital. Should we fail, and Nidhogg slip through our grasp, who then will hold the walls against him? Will you leave Ishgard in the hands of the Holy Sea's zealots?
It's nice that Estinian can recognise them as zealots. Because I think possibly before this journey he would not necessarily have seen them as, or at least used that particular terminology for them.
Who but you has the authority and the standing to orchestrate a city-wide defense? I do not, and neither does the Warrior of Light. That is why it is our place to fight, and yours to remain here, Lord Commander. What? You too, Master Alphino? By the Fury! You have shown some promise, but this adversary is far beyond your skills.
Beaten down.
Your candor is appreciated, Sir Dragoon. I shall remain then and cheer you from afar.
You can do a lot more from here anyway.
Well, my friend, it would seem I have discouraged the last of the volunteers, and claimed the task as ours alone. But if any alive can best this worm, 'tis surely we too.
And 3 of our elite adventurer friends. You get slightly more response from the Warrior of Light in this particular expansion. She doesn't do much, or the Warrior of Light, she does not do much in the way of reaction stuff. There's a lot of nodding in A Realm Reborn, but in this they actually show a bit more emotion. I have pricked Master Alphino's pride, I fear, but had I been less forceful, the boy would have insisted on accompanying us to the Eyrie. Do not think me blind to his talents. With a few more campaigns under his belt, I have no doubt that Alphino will make a fine field commander. But one does not practice on an adversary such as Nidhogg. We shall be hard-pressed enough without the added worry of carrying a novice. And so for this we get I think it's the last ether current. We also get our very own mana cutter. Estinian is eager to set forth. Me too. We have tarried long enough. Let us call upon Master Garland and take possession of the mana cutters. Hold on. What do I do? Demajen, old friend, the cutters are ready when you are. The finer adjustments cost us a few sleepless nights, but we got there in the end. Which means you can get where you need to go. I tell you, these little beauties will tear through that wind barrier like a serpent drilled through cottage cheese. Interesting simile. And that, my friends, is a Garland Ironworks guarantee. Ha ha ha. You have our thanks. Come, Warrior of Light, the dread worm awaits. I love that purple. The Eyrie now accessible. Okay, I'm certainly not going to try and complete the area with a controller, because that would not work. Either currents. Yeah, we've just got that one more in the journey mist to do. Those are repaired enough. And there's the Q-pop. Right. Oof, clicky fingers. It's been a while since I've done the area. But it's a good instance. The final boss is a bit of a pain at times. I've seen a couple of wipes on the final boss. Bum 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 bum. If this DPS fancies joining in, there we go. Bum. Hey. Nice. Ooh. Watch out. Hello, Nidhogg. Ooh, jeez. That was lucky. You'll notice that Nidhogg's eye is yellow, but the one that Astinian has is red. That's a bit weird. This is one of the few dungeons where there's a slightly longer cutscene to start us off. Right. Okay, so there's a bit of a ramp up in the area, literally a ramp. The air begins to crackle, there will be some lightning strikes. In various places. We've got Human Rights Scholar. And we've got Samurai and a Red Mage. This, shockingly, does not surprise me. Party. That's one of the lightning strikes. There it goes. These guys are actually a bit of a pain to tank because they don't turn easily thanks to that lightning sprite. Speaking of Doesn't actually make a huge amount of difference which of those you decide to kill first. Right, there's a treasure coffer over there. It's just got a potion or some clear glamour prism stuff in. It's probably not worth going and collecting unless you're the healer and your tank's not taking a huge amount of damage. I tend to find the Cloud Chasers a better choice to kill first because they're so squishy, just like they were in Stone Vigil. If you want to give your healers a little bit of an easier time, you can use Reprisal on the Avis whilst you're killing him, just to reduce his damage by 10% for a few seconds. It's not a lot, but it'll it comes back up reasonably quickly. It's only a 60-second cooldown. Same for that treasure chest, not a lot of useful stuff in there. If you're really sneaky, you can come back at the end after everybody's left and pick those up. You know, if you are super duper desperate. That was a terrible pull. Don't do it like that. See, it's already back in. And that takes us up to the first boss, which is Rangda. Take note of these pillars round the edges. If you are DPS or healer, you will need to. In fact, I think even if you tank, you may as well tank this guy in the centre of the circle because he will cast this electric cachexia, which I seem to recall puts a big donut ring around like that. So if you're standing too far back, so Ionic Fury is 3 lightning bolts. Electrocution pushes everybody back, and you need to rush in because then he does his big electric ring straight after. You'll summon an ad at, what was it, 50%ish, something like that. You'll also, you notice, tether to somebody. Whoever gets tethered wants to run and stand next to one of the pillars, ideally. As a tank, you definitely want to make sure you don't turn this guy because that big electric predation attack does quite a lot of damage even to you. Charge again, so get prepared to... So if you get tethered like that, you want to attach it to a statue, and then his big attack will do that. Jeez. It will pulverise the statue. I don't know what this is, a donut round him. Oh, it is. Interesting. Anyway, he's a deed. Give me tank stuff. That is not tank stuff. That is also not tank stuff. Should have greeted those. Okay, we get to go down into the bowels of the Eyrie, which we're going to fight our way through. There are a few enemies down here, like this sleeping dragon, that you can actually avoid. wanted. Oh, I've done it again. This Ned Son Gar hits quite hard. Oh, and the broodlings explode upon death, which does some damage, but more importantly, you don't want them to explode anywhere near the sleeping dragons, because they'll wake them up. You can wake them up yourself if you want to. There's a third enemy that drops down here. This is a bit of a pain to tank, because again, hitboxes and lots of conal attacks. As you can see, quite a bit of to be honest, if your healer's half decent, you can actually stand in the burning cyclones, but don't stand if you can in the dragon's breath, because that is quite hard. That disperses this random cloud of gas. Wow, that greed roll. Okay, we've got some broodlings up here. Again, you want to pull them away from... I keep promising myself I will get better at mana management for Dark Arts, but in hundreds of hours worth of playing Dark Knight it's never happened. There is a treasure chest over there which you can technically get, and there is an actual piece of loot in it, but arguably it's not really worth fighting the dragon for. Isn't there something normally something in that room? Okay, this is Gerscutus. He's a fun boss. Pull him, turn him, and as a tank, hit him in the face until he falls over. Everybody else has slightly more to deal with. We'll cast Fall of Man, which will put a gas cloud down on the ground. And for each gas cloud that's up, he'll get a stack of a damage boost. You can go up to... Oh, he does body slam as well, like all of these mobs. You can probably comfortably tank up to 2 or 3 stacks of damage up. But eventually, he'll summon a mustard gas, and what the mustard gas will do is that it will go and eat up the clouds. It won't aggro anybody else, it'll just go and eat the clouds. But when there are no gas clouds left, then he will aggro people. And you ideally want him to suck up a couple of the clouds, but not get to too many of them, because then he'll get big and bloated and do a lot of damage if he hits you. He will also put a disease on you, which, if you are a healer, you want to cleanse off the tank, because it dramatically decreases the amount of healing they receive. I think it's probably about 10%, something like that. You can see the mustard gas is getting bigger. You don't want him to get much bigger than that, because he will explode. You can actually get rid of the gas clouds yourself by standing in them, but that gives you a stacking poison thing. More dragoon gear. Ooh, tanking earrings. Sweet. Okay. Again, probably easier to go for the cloud chasers first, in terms of who to kill, if they're squishy. But they really like putting AoEs, conal breath attacks in this. Obviously, 'cause it's full of dragons, and dragons have got conal breath attacks. That's just the way it is. But we've got a nice DPS setup here. It's a really cool looking place as well. Ooh. Is that some Allagan ruins? That's interesting. I actually hadn't noticed that before. Right, we've got a Ned Songar here again. Easy kill. His flex attack, his buff is a self buff that gives him a damage up. I believe you can stun him out of it. And around the edge, around the corner there, is an Aeridice, who, if you've done Stone Vigil hard, you'll recognise as one of those enemies that has various tells for his attacks. So that's a big fireball. I seem to recall that's just a... Oh no, that's a piece of loot. Ooh, yes please. Tanking ring. That one's, I think, already done. Okay, colour woven first. Got quite a lot of AoE tanking utility as a Dark Knight. I mean, Unleash gets you a nice chunk of threat as it is. But yeah, the change to Abyssal Drain, and I must go and check whether that actually is a change, and whether I'm just an idiot. One thing worth noting, if you are a scholar, Lustrate is not actually as pokey and potent as it used to be. So if you're letting your tank's health dip quite low and then expecting to be able to get the whole thing back with Lustrate, it does not heal as much. Right, this is a little, not so much a gauntlet, but probably a few hours. Ooh. Oh. I like to open up there with an Abyssal Drain. Because obviously you get more hit points back the more people you actually hit with it. Okay, and at the top of these stairs, it is the final boss. There's also Estinian. And here we have it. I will enfeeble the worm with the eye. Strike while he is weak. He's still got an eye. Okay, so Nidhogg, only level 55. That might strike you as odd, considering he sounds like he should be the big bad of this expansion. There is, of course, more to this. So he casts the Scarlet Price, which targets a person in your party and puts them in a big... Oh no, that's something else. Scarlet Price puts down these big balls of fire which leave trails between them. Which one am I thinking of? I'm thinking of the black ones. AoE, Deafening Bellow. Scarlet Whisper is a breath attack. Nothing you can do about that, you just have to rely on your healer to take you through it. Sable Price is the one that lifts you up into the air. If your DPS need to sort that out as quickly as possible. Be prepared to dodge. When he gets super low, he'll do this. He'll run up into the air, set himself down, and summon a few ads. You want to kill those ASAP. You certainly do not want Estinian to die. It should be noted that Estinian can be healed. Can't remember which is next. Is it the big dragon next? It is the big dragon next. Big dragon can be stunned. Which will keep it away from the stinging. And there's one more? Yes. Right, there's Nidhogg in the back. He's casting Massacre. So you need to talk to Estinian, who will put up this draconian light bubble, and that will keep you safe from this huge attack. If you're tanking, make sure you run back in away from everybody else. Turn around, and then the fight is pretty straightforward from this point. There we go. He's not dead though. He is chased off. Grasatha. Ooh, another coat of fending. True Lance. Oh, I've already got one of those. Is that my free loot that I got? Oh yeah, it is. Sweet. Well, there we go. Estinian's a little bit knackered after that. Be on your guard, he's yet close. Now, as I say, if you're really, really cheeky and you didn't pick up those initial 2 chests, you can return to the start of the dungeon and you can go and grab them. You only get 5 minutes after you've finished the final boss to do this, but you know, if you're super cheap, it's all gil after all. So there was one. There's an Ffxiv from that one. I think this is Glamour Prisons or something like that. And if you're not worried about dying, you can go and grab that final one that we didn't get next to the Sleeping Dragon. Which we might as well do because it might be useful. Just make sure you don't wake the wrong dragon. Not that one. Technically speaking, you can actually sneak behind him. Only some die in that one. Interesting. Will you keep on coming, I wonder? Oh, you can't jump off the edge. So one thing that he won't do is zone. Yes, okay, I appreciate that this is probably not the most exciting thing to watch, but I actually thought there was more in that chest than some die. Clearly, I have been deceived. Oh, actually, is there a zone line up here? I can't remember. Oh no, there isn't, is there? It is just a run to the end. Oops. Oh well. Hi, dragon. Since we didn't fight any of the dragons, I'll show you what their attacks are. Interesting. Dark Knight OP confirmed. Sucker. Anyway. Nidhogg is not a happy bunny. You would use my own eye against me? Time has done nothing to dilute your kindness depravity. I have not forgotten you, Dragoon. My essence claimed you once and shall do so again. If you have played the Dragoon 1, 30 to 50 job quest storyline, you will have experienced and encountered that. Estinian gets taken over.
No, Worm! This ends here!
Whee! That's gonna hurt. Ooh, that sound effect, jeez. Ah, he's covered red in blood. Did mention that that was going to happen. Interesting that Nidhogg explodes like that. What? And he's got the other eye. But this one's yellow.
You gifted my people 1,000 years of suffering. Now I gift you an eternity in darkness.
That's not the end of it, though. Uh-oh. Is this the cutscene where we learn about that other eye? Oh no, this is our lightning? No. Yes. Yes, I guessed right. So we have repowered 3 of our 6 crystals. At least that's what I think's happening. It's not very clear, but oh, we do get a cutscene. Oh yeah, we find out about the knights. Hold on. Those are 2 eyes.
They are ours, Lord Eldrath. The eyes of Nidhogg.
Yeah, not the eye, the eyes. So this is Haldreth, this is the first Dragoon, and this is Silvertrail, the firstborn of House Zumail, who's one of the survivors of the massacre. So if Nidhogg's had both of his eyes stolen...
Aye. The worm lies broken and my father is avenged. With the wellspring of his vitality thus denied him, Nidhogg shall not linger long in this world.
My father is avenged. Avenged for what?
But behold the terrible price we have paid. My sire is dead. So many brother knights slain. We traded our honor for the strength which now courses in our veins. And still we are forced to make such sacrifice.
So I think Haldreth was the son of Thordan? That right?
But not in vain, my lord. Hraesvelgr is the only great worm left in Dravania, and he dares not leave his lair. With Nidhogg's eyes in your possession, who now can challenge the might of Ishgard, ascend the throne, and take your rightful place as the ruler of our people?
Ambition.
Nay, my friend. I must forsake the mantle of king. Though Nidhogg be defeated, his wormling horde yet darkens the skies with wings beyond counting. As one who partook of Ratatoska's strength, it shall be my penance to bear a knight's arms until death grants me leave to retire. When that day comes, no prince shall perish, but a hell's-bound hunter of dragons.
But Lord Haldreth, what then shall become of the royal line?
Think of your people, my lord. Without a king, who will the common man turn to in his hour of need? How will he find his way without your benevolent hand to guide him?
I thank you, Sir Flavian and Sir Silvertrail, for dispelling my remaining doubts. With men of such wisdom and compassion in service to the realm, tis plain that Ishgard has no need of a king.
So, I seem to recall, this is the formation of the church, isn't it?
But if you must bow to the demands of tradition, you need look no further than yourselves for one worthy to wear the crown. Fare thee well, my brother knights, my loyal friends. On these shoulders shall I bear the weight of my father's sins. With this lance, shall I repay the debt accrued through our misdeeds?
Right, so there were 6 surviving knights.
What cruel jest has fate played upon us? Have we seized this desperate victory only to lose a king?
We can but act as our lord has bid. We few who remain must divide between us the rulership of Ishgard and her people.
So this is the start of the High Houses.
Not I. My oath was to Lord Haldrath, and he alone. If he is not to be king, then I would hang up my shield as well.
I can't remember who this guy is.
Will you abandon us too, sir?
I would wash my hands of blood and betrayal, and take up an honest trade. Mayhap I shall serve ale instead of sharpened steel.
I feel like that's important. Ah, so that does just leave the 4 who create the high houses.
We 4 then.
Forton, Heilenat, Durender, and Zemail.
There we go, that's how you pronounce them. Just in case I've been pronouncing them wrong for 40 plus hours.
But 4 houses to rule all of Ishgard.
And what of the throne?
We keep it empty. Until the day a king rises once more, we must assume the role of stewards. We shall shape our nation anew with a history of our own making, and let the truth of this dark day die here, upon the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. And there we have it. Yeah.
What ails you, friend? Are you wounded?
Stuff.
You have borne witness to history. To the culmination of the first battle with Nidhogg. The legend of Ishgard's founding tells that our ancestors were led to the land of Kurthus by the valiant King Thordan.
He was dead.
In the midst of their journey, they came to a wide chasm, where they were set upon by a great worm, Nidhogg. A furious battle then ensued, with Thordan leading the van. Though the brave king was slain defending his people, his son, Haldrath, the first Azure Dragoon, fought on undaunted. And with a mighty thrust of his lance, he gouged out Nidhogg's eye, forcing the wicked creature into retreat.
That's not
Thus,
quite how it happened.
did this eldritch orb become a sacred treasure of Ishgard, lending its power to every knight deemed worthy to bear the title of Azure Dragoon.
Since recall, this changes slightly as well if you've done the Dragoon quest.
A rousing tale, is it not? Would that I could still believe it. But your vision, which we must accept as immutable truth, leaves no room for doubt. Save on one point.
Where's the other eye?
If Haldrath took both of Nidhogg's eyes, then how came this eye to be lodged in the worm's skull?
We already know.
Beneath every answer we unearth, another question lies buried.
We've already seen another dragon with only one eye, and his eyes are yellow. about that.
'Twas a fierce battle, but one I knew we would win. Your fame is well deserved, warrior of light. Full proud am I to have fought at your side. I would fain return with all swiftness to Ishgard to inform the Lord Commander of our triumph. But we must first have words with Ffxiv. There are parts of this tale that the worm has kept from us, and I would know wherefore.
Yes, why has Ffxiv not mentioned parts of it to us? The obvious reason, of course, is because it makes for a better story. Though Nidhogg is fallen, my heart is yet heavy, and this stain of corruption pleases me not. When all has been put to rest, I must needs forge my armour anew. So that is the actual corruption from Nidhogg that has stained his armour. So we can now summon the Mana Cutter, which is pretty cool. With Nidhogg fallen, none save Ffxiv remains to answer our questions. Let us trouble the worm again. And if Isart yet lingers at zenith, all the better. I would have her hear the truth from the dragon's mouth. More. I'm auto-correcting words that I don't actually need to correct. Okay, so we can now fly about all the easier. And actually, if we fly up, we can get a pretty decent view of, let's fly straight up. So we've got the area over there. We've got some shattered. You'll notice that this side is kind of white and reasonably pristine, though obviously a little bit run down. But the closer it gets to there, and especially that amphitheatre over there, there's a lot more lightning aspected crystals. It's not corrupted, not like they look dark and evil, but it's just lightning aspected. The statue of a crying maiden over there. You can actually all the way up here. Seems to call there's a sightseeing point somewhere around here. If you are feeling particularly, yeah, look out from up here. Yeah, if you want to make your stomach lurch, you can leap off here. Ugh. Okay, so let's learn some more. 'Twas you, was it not? The furious screams of the dragons carried far. You have slain Nidhogg. What more could you desire from this place? Will you not allow Ffxiv to mourn the death of his kin in peace? Spare us your sanctimonious judgment, Ice Maiden. We have a gift for the Great Worm and a mystery that can no longer lie buried. Lady Iceheart, the Dragonsong War has all but consumed your life and claimed many of your followers. It is time to learn the truth of its beginning, the whole truth, that we may at last bring this bitter conflict to an end. Sound the horn, Warrior of Light. So we're going to see many more of the pieces of this puzzle fall into place. Not all of them though, I don't recall, but a chunk of them. Yellow eyes. Impenitent mortals ever seeking to bury old wrongs beneath new. I did sense the moment of Nidhogg's demise.
You mean the moment I prized your eye from his head?
What? Yep. Yes, so he gave half of his strength to Nidhogg, which is why he's not got that eye there. They did a pretty good job in the previous cutscene with him of kind of obscuring that detail. Weirdly enough, they need that blinding light there because they have to swap out the model. Right, Ffxiv is now back to full strength. Uh-oh. Nidhogg, what has befallen thee? We are undone by covetous mortals. They did take Ratatoska's eyes and glut their appetites upon her essence. She is slain, then? What madness has unmade our peaceful accord? So Nidhogg has always been suspicious. It wasn't Ratatoska's death that sparked off this fury in him. Well, it might have been the spark of the fury, but the suspicion and the dislike for them is older than that. He has warned them. They are ever untrustworthy because they are short-lived. They have taken both of his eyes. So Nidhogg decides to guilt trip Ffxiv. You were enchanted by your mortal. Your folly has cost Ratatoska her life and me my eyes.
And he, yes,
My beloved Shiva has swiftly are your kin made bestial by your appetites. There's a commentary on humanity, if ever there was one. Ffxiv, 'twas your blindness that invited disaster into our lands. Surrender an eye to me, and let that be your penance.
Listen. Wafal an, Ka'nya an, Smahesnesh wa, Saith an, Yikin an, Ailen an.
So it is the very fact that Ffxiv gives Nidhogg the eye that starts this Dragon Song war. Otherwise Nidhogg would have been powerless to do anything about it. Yield to me thy strength, brother. My vengeance is begun. The implication there is that his vengeance has started by taking some measure of revenge upon Ffxiv by weakening him for the chain of events that he's inadvertently set into motion. You've borne witness to a scene from my past. Why, yes. Yes, we have. Both of us, in fact.
It was yours. Your strength that sustained Nidhogg all these years.
Yep.
Would that Haldreth had dealt the worm a killing blow.
Kom an I fåren kin luna morgon in. Nå ska han strå av an ulstjas anan.
When my brother did appear before me, bloodied and blinded, his life was all but spent. He demanded half my vigour that he might exact his revenge upon the mortals who had wronged us.
And so you acquiesced. You surrendered your eye to Nidhogg, knowing full well the suffering he would inflict.
This one som anshin inkin in Ela.
And that's his justification. They shattered the peace, so let them have it.
Esklos nisek lizesk an.
Their treachery claimed my sister's life and my brother's sanity. Do you think your fits of indignation will move me to remorse?
I'm fire, Kolum Tolos Ineskla.
Go, mortals, take your unruly passions and leave this place. Your presence here spells nothing but misery.
Kas ehi shiso, sekmon ina an, stray snowfall in sith an.
Were it not for Shiva's soothing embrace, I would slay you where you stand. Were retired you should the bond we share ever weaken. Oh dear. So Estinian is frustrated by yet another mystery. Though he lifted not a single claw, 'twould seem that Ffxiv wreaked his own manner of vengeance against us.
'Twas my life's goal to slay Nidhogg, but I find there is little joy to be had in its accomplishment.
But you have rid the world of a hate-filled creature, and ended a bloody war in so doing.
Have we?
I lost my family to Nidhogg's flames, and 'twas with fury in my heart that I took up the lance. Every blow I struck in the name of vengeance. We were not so different, he and I.
I will not judge you for your deeds. I have not the right. Too many innocents have perished in the name of my greater good.
Yet even with all that has passed, the tale is incomplete.
Yes,
we are short a great worm's eye. Of the pair which Haldreth took from Nidhogg, only one is known to us, the one I bear. What then became of the other? Why did Nidhogg, who had taken such pains to prolong the Dragonsong War, suddenly decide to hurl his entire army against the walls of Ishgard?
Does he think the other eye is there? Hello?
Lord Commander. Aye. The deed is done. Nidhogg is slain. What? In the city? A battle with whom? At once, Lord Commander. Hold firm till our return.
It ain't over yet.
Fighting has broken out in the city. Lord Emmerich was sparse with the particulars, but it seems some commoners threw open the gates to a force of heretics.
Uh-oh.
I gave no order to attack.
Are we to mark the end of the Dragonsong War by spilling the blood of our own? Mayhap Ffxiv was right about us.
Well, yes.
Let us away, warrior of light. The people must be saved from themselves.
Wait! I would join you! There has been enough violence. I will appeal to my people in the city and make them see reason.
Come then, Lady Iceheart. Let us write the final chapter in this damnable war.
Ooh. Thordan and his Knights of the Round.
A small army of heretics has invaded the city, Your Eminence. But there is no cause for concern. A sizable contingent of our soldiers is already in place to repel the Dravanian assault, and the intruders will soon find themselves outnumbered and outmatched.
Our plans proceed apace, then?
Yes, Your Eminence. This unrest shall serve to feed the people's fear of the heretics and the dragons both.
And lend renewed fervor to their prayers for deliverance.
Yes, because again, belief. Belief and prayer and faith is important in this storyline.
Very good. Grant our guests what time they need to sow a measure of chaos, then order the Temple Knights to crush them.
Your will be done.
What is he playing at?
The moment is at hand.
Oh, hi, Labra.
Excellent. All shall soon be in alignment. It is time for the Bringer of Light to die.
Hey, what? No. I don't think so. So this is all part of the Archbishop's plan. Ffxiv, what's going on? It's just that little resigned shrug.
There!
There!
Comrades! Sheathe your swords! There is no need for further bloodshed!
My lady!
She has come.
Hear me, brothers and sisters! The war is ended! Nidhogg is no more! Aye, it is so! This adventurer and the Azure Dragoon laid the Great Worm low! The endless cycle of violence between man and dragon was born of our forefathers' treachery. You have followed me, bled with me, to bring this truth to light that we might all know peace. But Nidhogg is dead. Nidhogg is dead, my friends! He who bore such hatred towards Ishgard is dead! Let his hatred die with him, I say! Let us sheathe our swords and go in peace!
Have we lost?
No, my friend! Far from it! At long last, the peace for which we have so desperately fought is within our grasp. And I, for one, would not forsake it!
Peace?
Yes.
Seize the witch! Let none escape!
I don't think so.
Providing aid and succor to the wounded should be our first concern. If the heretics mean to observe the peace, then it would be folly not to do the same.
But that's zealotry for you. Ffxiv. That was rather too close for comfort, but it seemed that calm is returning to the streets. My mind, however, yet clamours with 1,000 questions. You return to Ishgard in the oddest of company, my friend. Ain't that the truth? Orthodox mayhem. Ooh, we're on to the level 56 quest now, which means level 56 gear. But Ffxiv has more than a few questions to ask. That, my friends, was rather too close for comfort. Praise Helena that things did not end in bloodshed. I confess I was more than a little dismayed to see you in the company of the Lady Iceheart. Whatever is going on? Beg pardon? You travelled to the Churning Mists together, along with the Estinian? Never was there more an unlikely alliance, nor one so magnificently effective. Nidhogg dead? The heretics pacified? Father and Sir Emeric must know of this. Let us break the news to them together. I will bring Sir Emeric to Forton Manor. Yes, an excellent suggestion. Very well. Demajen and I shall await you there. There is, of course, more to it than this. Boing, boing, boing. Gummy bears, bouncing here and there and everywhere. You have to be of a certain age to get that reference, I believe. Welcome. Welcome. Hi guys.
Praise Halone, you are safe.
Yes.
My safety was never in doubt, Father. For I had the Azure Dragoon and the Warrior of Light by my side.
Mm-hmm.
We bring the most wonderful tidings.
Nidhogg dead? War ended. Stuff happened. Stuff and things.
The infamous Lady Iceheart? Here in Ishgard? This is most unexpected.
She has done much to quell the violence. The Inquisition may not approve, but we are glad of her presence.
Yes, well, the Inquisition are designed to further the aims of the Church. The Church, which we are learning, has a vested interest in keeping the status quo and the prayers of the faithful flowing.
And with the Great Worm's demise, even our nation's more reactionary elements will have scant grounds to press for her immediate impeachment.
My thoughts exactly.
What of the truth revealed to us by Hraesvelgr? That the origins of the Dragonsong War, a core tenet of Ishgardian faith, are quite unlike those depicted in the scriptures.
Well, yes.
That men and dragons once lived together in harmony, and that it was man's treachery which shattered the peace and plunged our peoples into war.
The same scripture also describes the origins of the High Houses. Were it exposed as false, the legitimacy of our rule would be called into question. If both Highborn and Lowborn can trace their ancestry to Thordan and his knights 12.
But a single sip of dragon's blood is required to confirm their lineage.
If the Holy See knew of this and chose to remain silent, their crimes are grievous indeed. Regardless, this state of affairs cannot be allowed to continue.
Sir Emeric, you cannot mean to raise this matter with the Archbishop.
Pray consider what you are proposing. If the Holy See chose to conceal the truth for centuries, what reason would they have to reveal it now?
At best, you will be branded a heretic and clapped in irons.
Then at least the Archbishop will have shown his true colors. My friends, this war will never truly be at an end until the truth is made known. You must see what lies on the horizon if it is not. When ruled by fear of a common enemy, we were united. But now we have none. During the war, the highborn needed men to lead, and the lowborn men to follow. Not anymore. 'Tis but a matter of time before the old order is called into question.
He is not wrong.
Lady Iceheart will share the truth with her followers, and the Holy See will be powerless to stop its spread. The disenfranchised will rise up united, and blood will flow in the streets once more. A divided Ishgard will not survive.
Tread carefully, Lord Commander.
Yeah, that's a pretty big shake-up you're proposing.
My lady, is it wise to let him go? I sympathize with the Lord Commander's desire for reform, but to approach the Archbishop in this manner bespeaks an idealism to which I did not think Sir Emeric prone.
Though he comports himself as a realist, he has long dreamt of reform. 'Twas that idealism which first drew me to him. That which made me swear an oath to serve. We must not think of ways to hinder his cause, but rather ways to aid it, even should the Holy See cry heresy.
You cannot mean...
If the Lord Commander does not return from the vault at the appointed hour, I mean to go and fetch him.
Have care, my lady. Your words border on treason. Should they reach the wrong ears, you will be declared an enemy of Ishgard.
That is a risk I am willing to take. Lest you forget, my lord, I am not born of this land. My loyalty is to the Lord Commander alone.
Yes, she is not Ishgardian.
But I speak only of what may come to pass. If the rumors regarding his heritage are to be believed, we have naught to fear.
I don't think we've had any hints as to his heritage yet. This is the first we are hearing of it.
Lies and slander.
Are you sure?
Forgive me, what rumors are these?
That Sir Emeric is the Archbishop's bastard son.
Aha!
Senior clergy are not permitted to marry and sire children. But even the holiest among us are not immune to temptation.
Quite right too, yes.
I labour to believe it. Sir Emeric is truly the Archbishop's son.
No, Alphanef, you seem to have misunderstood the concept of the word rumour.
He has never been publicly acknowledged as such. But the rumors have plagued him since childhood. That he rose to his current position, despite being despised as a bastard and accused of profiting from his father's influence, bespeaks the quality of his character.
Yes.
It is my hope that on this occasion, the burden of his birth will work in his favor. Should our worst fears be realized, the Archbishop will not be so quick to execute his own flesh and blood, affording us time to mount a rescue.
Bastard or trueborn, he is our nation's best hope. If the Holy See dares to threaten him, I shall lead the charge against the Vault myself.
Interestingly enough, the Vault is the level 57 dungeon.
Hear, hear! The future of Ishgard rests on Sir Emeric's shoulders. I too will do mine utmost to aid his cause.
Ffxiv, be reasonable.
A knight lives to serve, Father. To aid those in need. The people need Sir Emeric more than ever, and we may be his only hope. There is no greater calling for a knight than to save the life of his fellow man. I swear to you, on the sigil of our house, that I shall do this and make you proud.
Even you? Romantic, reckless fools, the lot of you. So be it. Make your preparations.
I thank you all for your support.
Though your assistance is most welcome, I fear it will not be enough. Few as we are, we will struggle to reach the Lord Commander. If we are to succeed, we must needs recruit others to our cause. Woohoo! New pants. Oh, come on, Alphino. Give us a brilliant plan. Adversity acquaints a man with strange bedfellows, as Alphino knows only too well. But how are we to carry out this bold endeavour? Even with an army of knights at our backs, a direct assault on the vault seems unlikely to succeed. You are correct, Master Alphino. Not even the assembled might of House Fortomp and the Temple Knights will be sufficient. With the support of another party, however, we may yet stand a chance. You speak of one of the other high houses? No, precisely the opposite. I speak of the revolutionaries rumoured to reside in the Broom. 'Twas these disgruntled Discardians who opened the gates of our city to the heretics, I believe. It's gone morning, apparently, in the background. Ah, of course. If their hatred of the Holy See drove them to such deeds, they might well be persuaded to assist in Sir Emmerich's rescue, knowing the truth he would lay bare. Such is my hope, Master Alphino, and I would have you and Demajen reach out to them. As a Temple Knight and sworn servant to the Holy See, any overtures I make are doomed to fail, but as outsiders, the two of you may receive a warmer welcome. Very well. We shall seek out the leader of these revolutionaries and make our case. My thanks. Estinian, will your brothers heed your command if you order them to stand aside? The dragoons have no love for politics, my lady. They will gladly watch and wait while the highborn fight amongst themselves. How very wise. Demajen, we should hurry to the Forgotten Knight. Tataru may have knowledge of the revolutionaries. Let's go. Ooh, those dropped frames though. What do you unlock? I don't know. What do you unlock? Level 46. We recently held a ceremony to honour the passing of Schlurdbeamt. Whatever. There's Camp Cloud Top. Interesting. So that gives us somewhat random that we should get that now. Ah dear. Right. Where is this guy? I don't remember this at all. Yes, I'm a big fan of the storyline of Heavensward myself. With all its twists and turns. Good morning, what can I do for you? I don't remember this at all. Steel Vigil, that's the one where we fight the dragon in in Central Highlands. Svara and Safat. Svara's the one that we kill in the Fates. I don't remember. Right. Oh wow, we haven't done any of the ether currents in this zone. Brilliant. Six. Right. Do 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 do. These are all going to aggro me still. Diddle do 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 do. I love how whimsical the music is here after such a quite a dramatic portion of the storyline. Who's this random person? Random NPC. Hello there, is there something you need? Yes. This battle standard is for you. Yeah, the quest they changed, didn't they, so that you could you always got them from the first one in the chain, and I'm sure they've increased the view distance on them so you can see them from further away. Ooh, we'll get some material as well. That's probably not worth much of anything these days. Oh, right, we need to kill some things. Cats and dodos. I've actually got a map somewhere of the Ether Currents, I should probably go and find that. Which way south? Oh, it's right there! They've made them easier to see from a distance, he says. Standing right next to one. To get better at aiming that. I love the noise the cats make as they die. Right. Continue your search for an undamaged Gallicat wing. Yeah. I'm not even supposed to be doing this, I'm supposed to be continuing with the main story quest, not faffing around. Doing random side quests in a zone that I won't be coming back to for a while yet. How fares your search? Not bad, actually. Not bad at all. New Eorzean Geographic. Right. Now, back to what we were actually doing. Tataru, what do you have for us? Anything exciting? Demajen, Alphino. Gods, I've been worried sick. It's so good to see you. You too, my tiny potato friend. And you, Tataru, how did you manage to escape the chaos in the streets? Probably hiding under the counter? Gibrillon and the others barricaded the doors until the heretics left. I wonder if he's related to the random tavern keep knight. No one was harmed, thankfully, but what about you two? What came of your journey? Stuff and things, Tataru, stuff and things. Major plot devices. You're not serious. What was Sir Emmerich thinking? I mean, the way you two talk about him, I wouldn't have believed... Anyway, I've heard rumours of the people you're looking for, but I doubt they'll be of much use. The only thing I can say with any certainty is that they're led by someone called the Mongrel. A queer moniker if ever I'd heard one, but perhaps it will make the individual in question easier to find. Come, let's all make inquiries below. Okie dokie. Hey, Sid. Alright. Boom Elder. Hey, what's that? Speak up. I can't hear as well as I used to. No. That's not so much questioning as... I thought they were throwing that snowball at me. Oh, they are throwing the snowballs at me. That's cool. If I move. Huh? Okay, that I have never noticed. That is a cool little detail. I don't know a goddamn thing about the mongrel, but if I did, you could be sure I wouldn't tell you. Interesting. Ow. Broomstarveling. A mongrel? Not sure I catch your meaning. To blue blood, we're all of us dogs down here. So that was basically not helpful. Alphino, tell me you've got something useful. Not a single shred of information. Just as I expected. These revolutionaries would have not have evaded capture for so long without the masses' complicity. Still, it's good to know that Tataru's ears are as sharp as ever. Ooh, level 58. We are so far over leveled now. Ooh, and finally a gear upgrade. Alphino is not going to be easily deterred. Frustrating though it may be, we must press on. While I continue speaking with the people of the Broom, why not go and see if Gibrillon knows anything of value? As the proprietor of the Forgotten Knights, surely you must have heard whispers of the mongrel before. Can only hope that he will be more forthcoming than the others. We can but hope. It's up that way. Bum 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 bum. Ba-da-dum bum. Right, that should be... Yes. Do that afterwards. Come on. You know, people long for sympathetic ear, but they need to know that it comes with tight lips. Discretion, Demajen. That's what my customers expect. If they don't get it, then I don't get them. That being said, I'm not without my sympathies. I've heard the tales, and I know you've done right by highborn and lowborn alike. Least I can do is point you in the right direction. But to do that, I need you to do something for me. This happens, there's a hunter up in the Crozier who owes me a fair bit of coin. However, I've agreed to accept payment in fresh herbs. Go and get them for me, agreed? Yeah, okay. I can do a fetch quest for you. It is not beneath me. Hulking Hunter. I thought that said sulking for a second. So, you're Gibralon's errand girl. Good, good. How's it doing? Same as always? Right, right. Anyway, I hope he appreciates how much trouble I had to go through on account of his bloody herbs. Tell him to enjoy them while they last, because I doubt I'll be able to find any more next year. That's a surprisingly random little fetch quest. Right, according to my fancy list of quests, Heavensward main scenario. What are we on? The Spice of Life. Dum, da, dum. Ooh, cool, we're not that far off the vault. Well, you can hand them over or not. I this ought to do it. With a few other spices, I can make it just like she used to. A few things which stir the hearts of men, like a sip of mulled wine, share a glass with the right people, and who knows what stories they'll share. Yes, gear upgrades. About time. Gibralon has a faraway look in his eyes. Now I think on it, there's a woman I know who's rather fond of this blend. Ffxiv is her name, and she resides in the Pillars. She's a maidservant, some noble house or other, I forget. Anyway, be a shame if she didn't get to try this wine. Why not give her a bottle? I think that's Gibralon's discreet way of telling us where to go. Alright. I've said this before, but there are a lot of nice little architectural touches in the background in Ishgard that you won't necessarily notice if you're just ploughing through doing quests. Some of the door designs are really nice. Assuming you're vaguely interested in architecture. Hither. Huitha? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, I am Huitha. Beg your pardon, but do I know you, miss? I have played Stormblood. This actually is an alt character. My main is level 70 on Dark Knight, Red Mage, Scholar, Astrologian, and Samurai. I really enjoyed it. I thought Xenos was a really good villain, and I was pretty impressed with the Doma stuff, as well as the final boss fight in the menagerie, which I thought was great. I've actually got all of that on Twitch and my YouTube channel, and it was. There are several parts of it where it's basically short videos, maybe 45 minutes to an hour of me just raging. In fact, I seem to recall a comment in one of them that I had to turn the microphone off because I was getting kind of annoyed with people that couldn't follow basic instructions. But no, I really enjoyed Stormblood. I think the dungeons are great. Some of the class changes I'm not hugely fond of. The changes to Scholar in particular saddened me a little. I was hoping that once I got it to 70, it would kind of mesh together and gel a bit more, and it kind of didn't. So I'm leveling up White Mage now. But yeah, I got Astrologian to 71st because everybody said, yeah, it's super overpowered, and it kind of is fun to play. When its shielding is better than Scholar's, you know there's a little bit of balance wrong there. But Red Mage is the one that I've really found myself enjoying, and in fact I've got another alt character who I've been leveling Red Mage on just so that I get to level it again, which sounds kind of sad. Yeah, I know there's been a lot of criticism of Stormblood for its iffy characterisation of Lys. And actually, one of the reasons why I'm playing through the Realm Reborn, the 2.x Astral Era patches, Heavensward, Dragon's War, the reason why I'm playing through all this again is because I got to Stormblood and realised there were a lot of details of the story that I'd just completely forgotten. So that's why I'm doing this again. Right, what's Heather saying? I know this smell. This is the wine that girl used to prepare, a special recipe. It's been decades since I last tasted this. Oh, the poor dear. Such a shame she was taken in by that Baron. You got a dashing figure, I'll grant you that. Tall, slender, long of ear. But those dazzling ruby eyes of his were filled with lust. It was nothing more than infatuation what she felt, but she convinced herself it was love, and he couldn't help but take advantage. But when her belly started to grow, God's the scandal. I mean, it's not an uncommon occurrence, but that it was with her higher made it so much, well, I needn't tell you. She was discharged from his service, cast out into the streets like so much refuse. After that, no, can't read. After she returned to the broom, we drifted apart, and learned of her death years later by chance. So we are looking for a half Elizon. Half elf. So have you guys played Stormblood? Was that did the expansion interest you, or was Heavensward more your thing with its kind of religion and heresy and fighting against the church? Where am I going? Found that. So, the amorous nobleman beds his maidservant and casts her aside when the seed takes root. Oh, that's a lovely metaphor. Not the most original tale, is it? Cold comfort for the women and children who live it, though. Even the penitent can appreciate wine from time to time. Take... oh god, these blooming French names. Gilgier? For example. Surely you've heard of him. I have neither heard of him nor can pronounce his name. No. He's a monk who offers aid to the poorest of the poor in the broom, a man of many vows, but none which prohibits spirituous beverages. If ever there was a man who deserves a drink, it'd be him. Is this guy? No. Oh, he's there. He does not look a whole lot like a monk. Hello and his blessings be upon you, miss. A gift? For me? Oops. This scent. How reminiscent of a wine once made by a dear old friend. May her soul rest in peace. Forsaken by her family, she toiled tirelessly to feed and clothe her children. Yet somehow she found time to help me tend to those in even worse circumstances. So compassionate she was, so full of love for a fellow man. 'Twas that love which gave her child strength to endure the scorn of the other younglings. That little girl, bless her heart, she couldn't help what she was. Eventually she won them over, but those first few years of trying, even more so when she had to start fending for herself. I remember the days she spent standing on the walls, raven black hair flowing in the wind, staring out as if searching for a mother's face in the mists even. Yeah, I just got to 66, so I've just unlocked Divine Benison, is it? Which is 30 seconds for a 25% barrier or something like that. I've not got to use it yet, because the only dungeon I've done since then is Ffxiv, which obviously is synced down to 64. And I keep forgetting to use Thin Air constantly. It's like, yeah, 12 seconds worth of free spells. So, loads of holy spam, completely forget to use it. The one at 70 is that the Confessions stack thing? Because that does sound kinda iffy. I certainly find White Mage easier and less stressful to play than Scholar, which because of all the kind of reduction in potencies that they've had, especially the ones on their fairy, the reduction in potency there, it does strike me that it's been a little bit kind of pulled back too much, and the fact that their shields, which are supposed to be their thing, they're just weak now, weak and really expensive. But yeah, really enjoying White Mage actually. I was surprised at, to be fair, about how much I enjoyed Astrologian as well, because in Heavensward I did level it and I thought it was really fiddly, but it's one of the few jobs that I think the job gauge has actually really helped with. Alright, Gibeon. She was a remarkable woman, Demajen. After everything she was forced to endure, she still remained hopeful for the future, for her daughter's future. So, we are learning about the Mongol here. Gibeon has the look of a man weighing his words with the greatest of care. Some bonds are thicker than blood, but blood still defines us and divides us in the end. It's the legacy of our parents, and we can't escape it no matter how hard we try. So the Mongol and her pups choose to embrace theirs, to proclaim it to all and sundry. If you can understand that, then maybe you can find on your own. Alternatively, I should just follow the quest markers. Yeah, it is a shame about Scholar, unfortunately. It was my go-to healer of choice, but yeah, I just prefer the other two. I ran a couple of experts as Scholar, and just found that I couldn't keep up. Admittedly, I've only got the 290 weapon, which probably has something to do with it, because I've been taking a break from that and doing this walkthrough instead. What do you think of the Astrologian change to, was it Spear? The Snowflake one? Which now gives crit instead of the 20%, what was it, attack speed buff or something that it used to? Because I always thought that was trash. Still looking for your Mongol? Like I said before, take your pick. Plenty around if you know where to look. Or did you fancy someone specific? I am looking for a Mongol with ruby red eyes and raven black hair. Huh, someone's got unusual tastes. Afraid I can't help you though. Whoa, rather. It's bloody obvious you're out of the broom. Did you think I'd just tell you because you asked nicely? Was kind of hoping. Speak with Alphino. Do we have to? Bum, 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 bum. Right, Alphino, what do you have? Have you made any progress? Probably more than you have. So our Mongol was born of an Elizan nobleman and hiring maidservants. Granted, it is no location, but it's far more information than we had before. Yes, now that her striking features are known to us, perhaps we need only remain vigilant. Okay, a good chunk of XP quite quickly. Oh, and we're up to the 57 quests. Brill. There must be a way we can draw the Mongol out into the open. Maybe we should discuss this with Tataru. Speaking of which, where is Tataru? She... oh, confound it, she went below to make inquiries on her own, didn't she? We must find her, and quickly. I have a premonition this is not going to end well. Oh, Alphino, you're so smart. Oof. I can remember who the Mongol is, but I can't remember what actually happens here. You cast your gaze over the streets below, but see no signs of Tataru. Shocking. She must be around here somewhere. I take it you've had no luck either? Nuh-uh. Ooh. There she is with the stripy socks. Ah! I'm sorry, forget I said anything. Panic! Wait, down there, isn't that Tataru? Those men are chasing her. Quickly, after them. Run away. Oh dear.
Where do you think you're going, Missy?
Where do you think you're going?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, you did.
What's going on here?
What's it to you, boy? Piss off.
Piss off. Proper British
Hold
voice
on.
acting.
I've seen them around. They're in and out of House Four Tom's Manor all the time.
Oh, I see. Skulking about at your highborn master's bidding, eh? Bloodhounds hoping to catch a whiff of heresy, is that it?
Not really, no.
You are quite mistaken, I assure you. We came here to help. And if you know what's good for you, you will let us pass.
Haha! Listen to the pups yapping. Come here, boy. I'll give you cause to yelp.
Enough! Leave threatening women and children to our betters. We don't have the knack.
Here she is.
Hilda!
The mongrel.
Lay a finger on the blue blood's pups, and you're like to lose the hand. And often I get called on by glorious heroes like yourself. So tell me, what have I done to deserve you?
I wish you could get her hair. Ba-da-da-dum. Before you start, let's go somewhere a bit more private, eh? The Forgotten Knights, eh? A fine idea. You okay, Tataru? Bum, 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 bum. Ooh, that's a wall. Ooh. Solo instance here that I've forgotten about. Yes, there is. Right, I completely forgotten about this. Ching. Everybody out. Interesting that she's got so much money. Cool hair though.
So, while you're on your way to kill Nidhogg, you stumbled on some dirty secrets that the Holy See has been hiding for centuries.
Yep.
Eh? What are they on about?
Ah, the West Country accents.
The High Houses. And what makes a nobleman so bleeding noble? They trace their blood back to King Thordan and his Knights 12, the founders of Ishgard. But our friends here reckon we're all descended from the heroes of Eld. Highborn and lowborn alike. And so Sir Emmerich, Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, has gone to ask the Archbishop if he wouldn't mind letting everyone know.
Is he simple? The old bastard will have him executed for heresy.
Is he simple?
Well, seems to me that's what the good sir wants. Seems he thinks a noble sacrifice will serve to prove his claims.
We cannot stand idly by and allow Sir Emmerich to do this. Ishgard has need of him.
That is very true.
Look, you've a good heart, I can see that. Willing to risk your neck for someone else even when his troubles ain't yours. But what's this got to do with me?
I can't remember actually. What does this have to do with her? Is she the distraction?
If Sir Emmerich is imprisoned in the vault,
oh yes,
we will need all the help we can muster to breach their defenses and rescue him.
What in the hell's?
Woo! Ouch.
Ah, the unmistakable scent of heresy.
Oh, hello, Sherry Bear. They're so preening.
And what do we have here? The honored guests of House Fortom consorting with the Queen of Rats. Ooh, plotting insurrection, I shouldn't wonder. That won't do. Sickness is wont to fester and spread. It must be burnt out ere the infection takes hold.
I reckon Sir'd be happy to wield the irons himself. Well, so happens I've got irons of my own.
Oh, he's cast Protect. That's cheating. Does it only work when he's got his arms
simple creatures, rats. Certain to attack when cornered. Let us step outside, milady. In here, your toys could hurt someone.
Mm. What's machinist like at level 70? I've got it at like 53 or something like that, and I haven't tried the Heavensward version of it. I hear it got some fairly significant changes.
Right there!
You disgust me.
Horsefort! Can I get some bullets, please? Thank you.
Bear witness! Barone, guide my sword!
Filthy Rex!
What's this done in the fight? Ha! Gotcha.
There's no denying your gifts. A well-deserved reputation indeed.
Enough!
That is cheating. Ninja priest.
Lucky bastard. Nay, 'tis we who are lucky. Had we fought on, 'twas but a matter of time before our conflict claimed the life of an innocent bystander.
True.
I thought the Heavensward might come here as well.
They came to the Temple Knights' headquarters.
Aye. Sir Grinno announced that the Lord Commander had been imprisoned under suspicion of heresy, and that the Heavensward had been granted full authority in his stead.
Yes.
Then the Heavensward now commands the Temple Knights.
In case you were wondering why the expansion's called what it is.
Those still loyal to Sir Emeric answer to me. Alas, that amounts to but half our number. The other half, who opposed his promotion to Lord Commander, have gathered at the vault as ordered.
Bolstering the guard already, eh? If I didn't know any better, I'd say you were expected.
Yes.
I take it you're in charge around here?
Of a sort, yes.
Hilda. And yes, the young master was just persuading me to join his lost cause. Convincing little beggar, isn't he? Aye. Your passion moved me. A bit. That, and the fact that we're sick of living off the leavings of our betters. If you've a mind to change things around here, then we've a mind to join you.
Woohoo! And this will unlock access to the vault, which is where we are going to leave it for this session. Let me guess, you're wondering why I chose the Mongol, right? Because what I am. I'm not ashamed of it. Not anymore. Besides, even my pureblood pups have more in common with me than the lords and ladies up on high. They're none of them are well bred. Well, some of the mothers were cast out after a spot of fun, same as mine. Story old as time, and one we're sick of hearing, which is why we took up arms. Not that we mean to hold all the blue bloods to account. Some have done right by us. I'll allow them. Like them in House Helenar. But enough talk. Your friends are still rotting in a cell. Let's not keep him waiting. Is this the quest that gets us? Yes, it is. We've been working in secret to undermine the Holy See and the High Houses, that much I'll acknowledge. But this nonsense about us throwing wide the gates for the heretics is just that, nonsense. If not you, then who? Temple Knights, of course. Reckoned it was your beloved Sir Emmerich's doing at first, but then I heard about how he lost his head. My next best get would be the Heavensward. That way they'd have the perfect excuse to go door to door through the broom, slaughter the heretics and their sympathisers in one fell swoop. But the Heavensward scheme did not account for Lady Iceheart's intervention, and so they've been forced to improvise. A fine bloody mess, ain't it? But the dice cast, so what's the plan? We must divert the attention of the High Houses away from the city. To do that, we need the cooperation of your allies in their service. What makes you think I have friends in high places? You would be fools not to, given your goals. Lowborn knights are ideal recruits. Most swore fealty only out of a desire for a better life. If offered an opportunity to shed the yoke and live for themselves, who among them would not at least be tempted to take it? Rare is the man eager to die for a cause he does not hold dear. But it need not come to that this day. If they and their fellow knights are deployed afield to deal with a new threat, a massing of heretics for example, then they will be unable to join in the defence of the vault. Huh. Spread false reports of an attack to get them out of harm's way, you mean? The city will not soon forget the heretics' last assault, and if the High Houses believe another attack is imminent, they will have no choice but to act. Can it be done? Can we trick them into leaving Ishgard? Aye. Can we keep her out for long? Not bloody likely. Make sure you're ready before I send word, because you won't get a second chance at this. Then it is decided. To the vault. The Archbishop must be held to account. And the Lord Commander granted his liberty. Hearken to me, everyone. We have two objectives. Rescue Sir Emmerich and apprehend the Archbishop. We will therefore divide our forces into two parties. Lord Hoshafon, Estinian, Master Alphino and I will make ready to breach the underground jail and search for the lost commander. We will not move, however, until the second party has entered the vaults. I speak of your party, Warrior of Light. For this plan to succeed, you will need to fight your way into the highest levels of the vault, even into the Archbishop's private chambers. When the Heavensward realise what you intend, they will fly to their master's side, leaving only a token force to guard the jail. Temple Knights loyal to our cause have already secured the entrance to the vault. Once you are within, they will signal to us. If all goes to plan, we shall rejoin you with Sir Emmerich and confront the Archbishop together. Yeah, if all goes to plan. Is everyone clear as to their duties? Then let us do what must needs be done. Okay. This will open up the vault, which is this delightful building here. And we shall climb a good portion of it, actually, during the instance. It's always nice going back and doing these cutscenes and quests again, because it gives you context for what it is that you're doing in those dungeons that you've done a bazillion times and completely forgotten the context for. The others are in position, Mistress Demajen. I will send word once you and your party have entered. Boom. The duty finder has been updated with a new regular duty. Level 57, the vaults. And that brings this stream to a close. Thank you all for joining me. It's time to go get some food and maybe stream something else later, depending on how I feel. But for now, toodle pip.